Hey everyone, I'm actually recording this after my other Kurena's reply for part 2. This is going to be Kurena's reply for part 1. I want to do like Kurena's reply in between each part if I can, at least one, because I think that you guys' comments are so important and a large portion of my audience are medical professionals, so I really want to get your opinion on this and highlight it in these videos so we can just have like more of a discussion about what's going on in between the videos as they come out. I have a lot to say. This is a very long series. Like, I'm going to be putting up these videos for probably a couple months. This is at least a 10-part series, so stick around for that. Lots and lots to say. I would recommend that you guys watch the video because, again, these are responses to the video, so you're not going to have any context if you haven't seen it yet. I am making a playlist, so check out the playlist. It'll be linked in the description if you want to see the series. I don't know if I should put the Kurena's replies in the series. Tell me in the comments if you think that it should be a part of my all discussing any video discussing mental health playlist, or if I should also put it in the playlist of the main series. Let me know. So we're going to start off with you, the pinned comment. You said, a friend of mine acquired tics from a group they belonged to. They were feeling extremely stressed out at the time and already had an executive functioning disorder and developed a similar tic to someone from the group. I often use vocal stims, which some people confuse with Tourette's tics. When someone has Tourette's syndrome, their vocal tics impair their speech, whereas vocal stims are done for the purpose of stimulation when doing something else, passing time when bored, as far as my understanding goes. And that's what I think too. I want to see if I can show you guys this. Hang on. Another thing is, one of you guys sent this to me, which is the difference in similarities between functional tics and Tourette's syndrome. This right here is why a lot of people can get confused on what's going on with them. Like, a lot of people can think that they have Tourette's when they don't, because these two things overlap, which means that you could have both. So it's really not as easy as people think it is to like understand how this stuff works. And I'll have to show this again after part 3. But yeah, it can be very confusing. So of course people are going to start self-diagnosing, and that's always bound to happen. And it's not necessarily a bad thing because it raises questions. Questions are healthy. People to understand, it's like people are afraid to be wrong. I don't get it. Anyway, I'll get into it more as the series goes on, but people are afraid to be wrong, and then they project that fear onto people who are wrong, and they're like, well, I'm scared to be wrong. I don't want to be wrong, and since you are wrong, I'm going to make fun of you for being wrong. It's like, that's how you learn. The hell? People forgot how to learn. It's like they think school is all that's necessary to grow as a person. But yeah, so you should look at this. This is important. I'll link it in the description. You said, I always felt calling people out for faking mental disorders online, it's only gonna lead to the harassment of people who actually have that disorder. So it's not really worth doing, in my opinion. I might think, does this person really have that? But I'm not going to go online and say, hey, I, someone who has zero background in mental health, know that X is faking and here's why. Exactly. Like, that's what was bothering me. Like, I was watching these videos during my break. Like, it wasn't a break. I was forced away from YouTube, but I was watching these videos and I'm sitting here like, what are you guys doing? Like, and it just kept getting worse and worse. And I did a video a long time ago, one of the videos where I was screaming where I was like completely unhinged because of all the cyber stalking. Like, I did a video a long time ago where I was talking about a YouTuber. I'm not going to say his name because he really didn't know what he was doing, but he was making fun of kids on TikTok before it was even TikTok, back when it was Musical.ly. And I'm like, why are you going to make fun of kids? Like, why do people want to make fun of kids so badly? But again, it's because they're vulnerable and these people are and they can't stand on their own. Like, it's easy to pick on a kid. It's hard to pick on somebody your own size. I get it as I connect with people online because of my anxiety and major depressive disorder. It's when people use their condition as an excuse for bad behavior, it becomes problematic. WatchTimeViewers. Yeah, and Primink was somebody who was like, I'm an asshole because I have depression. I can't stand people like that. But thank you for spreading the hashtag. Don't forget to spread the hashtag WatchTimeViewers. It's a hashtag to encourage YouTube to attach watch time to comments to prove that people actually watched your video when they want to say what's in the video. Because a lot of people who don't like you will just dislike you, lie about what your video is about in the comments when they only watch 2 seconds of it. So spread the hashtag because it's very helpful. Like, if you don't know what to comment under my videos but you want to support the algorithm, just type hashtag WatchTimeViewers. So you said, was a great premiere. Thank you. And you said, excellent points you bring up about those in need in the midst of accusations and confusion. What can we do? I'll get into that in a minute because there's another comment that brings it up. And you said, looking forward to future videos and your view on healthcare. Would love to know from your perspective because I'm in it and not outside looking in as a professional. TT came in and said, I am as well. It'll be great to get that view from someone who is not bound by the guidelines and rules we are. Appreciate you. You said, I agree. Okay, so to the point of the whole professional thing, I think that this would be great. Like, I honestly think that it's going to be such a good experience to go through this whole series. What I want to say to you guys is that I'm so happy to some degree that everything happened the way that it did, because to get an audience like this is more than what I could have ever asked for, because I talk about mental health a lot in my videos. So to have an audience of people who are mental health professionals and you're sharing it with each other naturally, and then to give me feedback on that really helps me to make more sound arguments. It gives me a chance to understand healthcare more because I genuinely care about this topic a lot, and I'm not a professional, so I can help to reach people who are not coming from a professional perspective, and you guys can help me in that by giving me more information that I can then transfer to those people. Like, it's the perfect symmetry, you know, for us to kind of network together to get the word out there and talk about these issues. And anything that I am right about, you guys help to validate it because you actually understand how the shit works. So it's just so beneficial for so many reasons. If I'm wrong about anything, you guys can actually tell me how I'm wrong instead of just saying I'm wrong without any actual advice. You know, so it's just so helpful. You guys have no idea how much I appreciate you all watching and commenting. And I know the commenting is hard for you in certain circumstances, but whenever you do, it's very much appreciated. So then you said, this is going to be one to look out for too, especially because many times our hands are tied and we have to pretend social media doesn't exist in the context of mental illness. Yep, that's exactly what I was saying. You guys, you'll get your license taken away if you talk about certain things. I will show a TikToker who got her license taken away. There's been plenty who have had it happen to them, but it's hard to find those videos because the videos get taken down. Her video got taken down, but people downloaded it before it was gone, so then they put it back up. I'll try to show it in this video actually. If I can grab it, I'll just post it here. So I decided that I'm going to show it in a separate video since I plan on reading out your comments talking about how you can't speak on certain issues and stuff. So keep commenting about that, your experience as a medical professional and how you can't talk about certain things just in a comment section, or you'll be terminated or lose your license and stuff like that, or any stories that you've heard of that are like that, because like I said, I will be doing a video that highlights that specifically. So when I do that, I will show the woman that I was referencing losing her license because she's controversial online. You said many just tell clients to turn off or stay off social media, and that's easier said than done for most people. Hashtag WatchTimeViewers. The thing is, it's not just easier said than done. It's like impossible these days for most people. You literally need social media to get shit done. Basic ass tasks to connect with people and talk to people. Everyone's using Discord. Like, and when you're getting stalked, people just follow you all over the internet. The internet is so essential these days. To tell people to turn off a computer, these are people who are, they're in cemented positions at their job that don't require social media, and so they don't understand that for younger generations it's like literally crucial. It's the whole thing sad, and sadly we're just gonna have to wait until they get too old and die and younger people grow up, people who couldn't just turn off their social media, and then that'll stop being a thing. I really don't think that it's gonna change before then, unfortunately. So oh well. People need to be more aware of mental illness versus self-diagnose, because people will either add on symptoms they don't have or miss signals they do have. So many other symptoms they have that might not be typical for everyone, but certain people. And then you said social, but you didn't finish it. What I will say is they need to be aware through the self-diagnosing. Because again, it raises questions. It makes people curious. Then they get corrected and then they learn. That's the whole point. But they don't need to be attacked for misdiagnosing themselves. Because professionals misdiagnose people. Should we attack professionals? Like, should we be like, you have all these credentials and you misdiagnosed, so you don't know how to do that? Like, they literally have more agency to be ridiculed when they have all the tools and they still misdiagnose you than for a child to misdiagnose themselves. A child who likely has a learning disability, because a lot of them have autism and all these other other issues. So it's just like, yeah, they shouldn't be attacked. And I'm not saying you're saying that. I'm expanding off of what you're saying. But they shouldn't be attacked for it. It's an opportunity for them to learn. What we need to do is teach in schools child psychology. That should be a required class, because kids are not as dumb as people think. Even though kids have learning disabilities and stuff, you can still teach them about psychology. You can teach them the basics of understanding information and taking it in, even at a very young age. So if we did that, these kids would grow up with a better understanding. But the problem is that a lot of school is meant to make people dumber and more subservient to power. That's when we get into politics and all this other stuff. School isn't actually meant to make you, a very free thinking individual who can understand facts and information and logic. You're just supposed to do what you need to do for the test scores and all that shit. So if we could get past that and actually teach people for real, then we could actually teach people how to understand information, even kids, and this whole thing will be over and done with. But rather than these YouTubers seeing that this is a failing of the educational system and seeing that there is a rampant case of undiagnosed kids with autism and other issues, instead they just think, YOLO, look at all these people they're faking disorders. You know what a child would have to go through mentally to be able to fake a mental disorder? Do you know what kind of diagnosis you would have to give that child for them to be the kind of person to fake a disorder for attention? Like their brain isn't even developed enough to think in that way a lot of times. You're talking about, for them to be like that, you're basically saying that we got a lot of child prodigies on TikTok. That's what they don't even understand. Like, that's not where these kids are coming from, man. Not most of the time. Oh, it's just so sad. But when I say that we have an epidemic, and I get into this in about part 5 and 6, but we have this epidemic of young girls who are faking, quote unquote, faking disorders when they're actually undiagnosed with autism and other learning disabilities, because people think that they're just like being quirky. Like a lot of symptoms of these issues, people overlook when it's a girl versus a boy. And it's like, I understand that autism is not in and of itself a learning disability. I just want to make that correction here before people correct me in the comments. But a lot of people on the spectrum who have autism tend to also have learning disabilities. So, there's like a correlation there. It's not everybody on the spectrum. I think it's like half. Let me look it up actually. It says, autism is sometimes referred to as a spectrum or autism spectrum disorder, ASD. Autism is not a learning disability, but around half of autistic people may have a learning disability. Yeah, so there's like a correlation there. So that's why I keep saying learning disabilities like autism, because I'm not a professional and I don't know all the learning disabilities that are connected. I have to do some more research, which I will, but not for this Kurena's reply. Moving on. You said people sometimes forget a lot of disorders, mental illnesses, and disabilities have overlapping symptoms and can mimic each other. Seriously, a lot of them do, not even some. You said, I don't have tics because I don't have Tourette's, but I do have physical anxiety twitches. Yes, I have a diagnosis from my doctor. I'll shiver, jerk my head to the side repeatedly, and hit my chest with my hand, to name a few twitches. These movements are involuntary and they can look startling and abrupt. I've literally had strangers in public accuse me of faking. Yeah, because I'm like, what's happening on YouTube is infecting the real world. People want to blame everything on TikTok, but YouTube is having a big effect on people wanting to fake disorder. They've literally done news reports of the compilations that YouTubers are making. Those Tic compilations are shit that they're getting from YouTube, not from TikTok. So it's like YouTube is seriously affecting people, making them want to point this out. And it's like, why would you want to point out someone's faking? Why not go? A lot of these people want to point out fakers don't fucking give money to homeless. They're not donating anything to help people with disabilities, but you want to point out somebody faking. Like, what's wrong with you? Seriously, where's your priorities, dude? It says, I've literally had strangers in public accuse me of faking. People now think they can spot fakers when they're just harassing the disabled and mentally ill community. And that's why I'm making these videos. And it's gonna get bad, you guys. Like, there's one video at the end of the series that it's not fun. Like, me making these videos are not fun. But when I'm gonna make it because I think it's important to point it out. And that's basically gonna be a video where someone with a mental illness is trying to spot fakers of mental illnesses. And they're doing the same thing. They're once again discrediting people who actually have the mental disorder. And that's a really tricky video for me to do because everybody's going to be like, oh, well, that person actually has it and you're coming for them. You're coming for them. And it's just like, yes, because they're also part of the same Ouroboros cycle, but they're really like, you're making people walk around in the real world telling people that they're faking when they're already struggling enough. Having tics is embarrassing. And so to tell someone that they're faking this embarrassing thing that they wish to God they could stop doing is such a horrible thing. You have no idea what it takes for people like that to walk out every single day knowing that they're going to be looking kind of off and weird to everybody. And for you to just tell them that they're faking, it's just the most cruel thing you can do to someone. Whether it's on purpose or not, it is cruel. He said also, even if somebody was faking somewhat, that still means that something else is going on and should be looked into. And they don't care about any of this. Where are your morals? You want to talk about how wrong it is to fake? What about how wrong it is for you to not care about the fact that these people need help as well? Why don't you ever talk about that aspect of it? It's pretty much common sense, but they have nothing to say because it's not fun anymore. It's fun to make fun of someone that everyone's making fun of. It's not fun to stick up for somebody that no one's sticking up for. And I said a lot of this will be addressed in the series. Thank you for talking about it here. Yeah. TikTok was a good thing, but it has garnered a bad reputation. That's why it has become massively hated. It's getting that bad reputation from its competitor, YouTubers. They're shitting all over TikTok because they can't make it on TikTok. And you want to know why? Because it's people literally just recording their thoughts and putting it up, just like YouTubers do. But because it's so easy, and I'll talk about this later in the series, but there's an oversaturation of content on TikTok because it's so easy to just post and post and post and post since it is 1-minute videos. So YouTubers are now recognizing all the flaws on YouTube 10 times faster on TikTok, 100 times faster because they're seeing 100 times more of it. So like, look at all these issues on TikTok. It's the overexposure to the issue, but these issues existed way before TikTok was a thing. This is just an issue on social media, period. And you're taking it out on TikTok because you don't like TikTok. So I'm pushing back by pointing out that that's the issue. If you don't like TikTok, you don't like social media. And I get that it might not be your thing. If you don't like the format of TikTok, that's one thing. But if you don't like the opinions on TikTok, you need to wake up and realize that people just have shitty opinions. You do realize that human beings are using TikTok, right? Like, I don't know why people keep acting like TikTokers are aliens from outer space or something. Anyway, whatever. Happens to every good thing. A bad reputation ruins the image of everything. Yeah, but it's not going anywhere because, again, half of the fucking US is using TikTok. And you want to know why half the US is using TikTok? Because, again, it's a place to find community. So unless we fix YouTube and YouTube gets better at helping people find communities, TikTok ain't going nowhere. Not naturally. And a lot of victims of abuse get to use TikTok. A lot of people who are suffering, protesters, people who are suffering from all sorts of stuff all around the world get to go to TikTok and say, help me, I need help. There are people in third world countries who are being abused and silenced by their government. And then people who escaped that government are posting on TikTok saying, say the names of the victims so we can save their lives. I see TikToks like that all the time. That is what TikTok is for. TikTok is for people to have a voice who did not have one, and YouTubers don't like that because what's the number one problem on YouTube? The YouTubers are terrified of their fucking comment section. The reason why people on TikTok aren't terrified is because there's a system where you can respond to a comment immediately and say what you have to say, and it's normal. It's not normal on YouTube to do that. People think that you're like a bully or you're picking on a commenter, you can't take criticism, blah, 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 because there's a completely different culture on YouTube. So YouTubers are jealous of the privileges that TikTokers have because of the format of TikTok, and they take it out on them, and then they're just like, it's just a TikTok problem, it's not a YouTube problem, it's this whole toxic system. But you're going to be remembered as somebody on the wrong side of history with this because you are wrong. And you don't even use the app. They're mad at an app they don't even use. Holy shit, they're so scared of the damn app. Use it. Seems like fakers get attention and people that need the support are told they are looking for attention and views. Yeah, by YouTubers. YouTubers give them all the attention in the world. You hate how much attention they're given. And they're making all this money off of it too. The least you could do is make the money off of the quote unquote fakers and give some of it to the people who actually have issues. But I'll get to that in just a second. Oh, Mary was saying just got a notification and found it was over an hour ago. Not sure why that happens. You guys have to set an alarm. When I'm premiering videos, set an alarm on your phone because YouTube is trash and they don't alert you on time. Like, I don't even get alerted for my own premiere on time. Sometimes it'll happen after the video's done premiering. I'm like, what the hell, YouTube? I like the framing of this because people can't hear something from both sides. It's either all good or all bad. But as per your view, TikTok does help people because it allows for opinions, and trolling, it's a mixed result. My wish is that this can be revolutionary and help more people than it hurts. I really hope so too. Like, we're on the same page, Mary. So this is the comment that I've been looking for. It says, TikTok messed me up. I gave money to someone who was a fake. I want to still help, but I don't know who is real or not. And many are self-diagnosed and others are doctor diagnosed, but don't monitor health properly. Need more context on this mental health needs. And then it's not finished for some reason. I don't know. But so what I want to say to that to all of you is that I talked about this in part 1 or part 2 of the Cyberstalker series. I was telling you guys about how when people say, I don't know if I should watch this video or not, I don't want to give it support by watching it if it's a bad video. And I said, you just got to take the L and watch the video, because these people are miserable. Anybody who's doing bad things and showcasing their bad behavior on YouTube is a miserable person, whether they have money or not. Money exists. People are going to make money whether you watch their content or not. You watching one video from them and then choosing not to watch anymore is not that bad of a thing. You got to take the L and do it. And it's the same thing with donating to people. It's like with giving to the homeless. You don't know if that person's actually homeless or not. You just got to take the L and do it, because more often than not, they're actually homeless. And the same thing is with these people on TikTok. It's like more often than not, they're actually suffering in some way, shape, or form. And they're not just doing it for attention. So you just got to take the L and help people. Because if you don't, you're then going to be the kind of person where you're basically saying, and I'm not saying this about you, I mean this in a general you. If you were to then take that and be more resentful, you would then become the kind of person who's just like, well, rather than help people, I'm not going to help any of them because I don't want to be tricked by one person every now and then. You see how like warped that perspective is? It's just not, it's not healthy. And it sucks being tricked, but we're all going to get tricked, okay? Every single one of us are going to get stuff wrong. People got to stop being afraid to get things wrong, to be wrong. It's going to happen to everybody. None of us are perfect. We're going to make mistakes. None of us are mind readers. Okay, so we're going to help people who don't deserve it. We're going to fall for scams, all that stuff. And you just got to take the L and do it because it's worth it to help somebody and it's worth it to save a life. You have to remember, I'm doing this to help people. And if I get scammed every now and then, who gives a fuck? At least I did the right thing. It's on them for not doing the right thing. You got to remember that. So you can go through the series as I talk more about these issues so that you can have more of an idea of what to do. I'd say that my advice would be, the only thing that I would say that I would avoid doing is helping someone who's already getting a ton of help. Like if they already got a lot of hearts on their TikTok and they got all this support and stuff, I mean, they're already getting the help. So go look for somebody who's not getting as much support. And when it comes to believing someone's story or not, again, you just got to take the L and help them anyway. And then review, if you do find out that they're scamming, you can look back on it and look for red flags. Like, oh, that was an obvious red flag that that person was lying, you know, stuff like that. And take that with you in the future with who you will and won't help. But that's really all that you can do for the most part. If you guys have any other advice on who to help and who not to, let me know. Because you can't just donate to charity. Charity doesn't help, you know, a large portion of these areas that that they say that they're supposed to help. It only helps people who you never heard of, you'll never meet, whose situations aren't as bad as others, because there's a lot of silent victims out there. So you can't just donate to charity. You do have to take a risk and help people, but it's worth it in the end because, again, it's the right thing to do. If someone else does the wrong thing, that's not on you. If they take advantage of you, that's not on you. And then UTT said, thanks. You have given a voice to many of whom in healthcare feel they will be fired if they speak out, and no one talks about this. I have been affected by this, investigated, and attacked online and IRL, and it hurts. If you guys don't know what she's talking about, watch this video. But yeah, she says, even if we speak of our own hurt and mental health, it could be seen as negative towards company politics, and we certainly can't speak on what it's actually like because coworkers and people online have their opinions that always get back to an employer in a way that's twisted and out of context. I have had to let people go based on what the higher ups tell me, and it sucks firing people when you know in your heart you were trying to give someone a voice. Thank you for speaking on my behalf and other professionals who can't even comment because they fear of losing their job. And I think that it's heartbreaking. It's honestly heartbreaking that that's the case in the healthcare system because it's the most crucial system in our country. You know, physical and mental health is so important for our literal lives. But despite that, for whatever reason, a lot of it has to do with business and politics. People aren't allowed to be a human being and give an opinion because God forbid you give an opinion, you're going to be considered, you know, unprofessional or whatever. It's insane. And I hope that that can change one day. Maybe these videos can help to make those changes. I don't know, but I really wish that one day it could change where you guys don't have to do that anymore, where you don't have to be afraid to give your opinion. So that's all that I want to read out for this Kurena's reply. You tell me what you guys think about all these different comments and stuff. Tell me what you think about the videos that you've seen so far in relation to the comments. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you all next time.